Here we go. All right, so it looks like we are live. I apologize for anybody who got to see our technical issues. I'm working on some of the technical issues today, but I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome, beautiful. Today we are talking with Tamara Wamsley. We are talking about burnout and all the great things that come along with burnout, right? When I say great, I don't mean great. So let me know in the chat area, have you ever felt like you've hit burnout before, and how did that affect you? Because today we are talking about burnout and that link between burnout, misalignment, and self-trust, and how listening to yourself can change everything. So like I mentioned, we have Tamara Wamsley. She is an expert at this. She's a Purpose Clarity Strategist and leadership speaker. And I have actually had the honor of seeing several talks of Tamara's, and I've been so excited to bring her to you. So without further delay, this is Tamara Wamsley. Hello, Tamara. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me on, Suzanna. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you here. You mentioned to me how you are an expert on burnout. Can you tell me a little bit about what exactly you define burnout as, how we would know if we have burnout, and go from there?
Yes. So, wow, what a loaded question. I think for me, my personal journey was basically I had started a job and began having physical symptoms. Like when I first started, I was super excited and loved the role that I was in, and I was learning all the new things. And after, I don't even know, after a few years, it just started to drain me. It really started to affect me health wise. Like I would be driving into my office, feeling like nauseous and like having my stomach ache on the commute every day. And then on, Sundays, I would dread Monday morning. And so it kind of started creeping in like that. And I thought that, I just thought if I changed jobs, that things would change and that, that would fix the situation. And so I moved on to a different role, and it basically started the whole cycle over again. So at first I was excited, really enjoyed the job. And then I don't know, the physical symptoms started creeping in, and it got to the point where I was having multiple panic attacks a day. And so for me, I felt like I was broken. I felt like something was wrong. Like, why is this happening? Because it just kept happening, like at different jobs. I would move on and it would happen again. And so I really couldn't figure out what was going on. And I think that when I was exposed to some information that we're going to talk about today, I think that it really connected dots for me. And I basically connect dots that I feel like other people don't see. And so that's why I'm here to talk about that today, if that makes sense.
That is so exciting. I know myself, I have experienced burnout in the past, and for me, it was debilitating.
Yeah.
I dreaded everything about, waking up and going to sleep. There was just nothing good. Tracy mentioned that she says, yes, I felt burnout plenty of times. It zapped my energy. Yeah, absolutely.
Very much. Yes.
Burnout right now. She says it's made progress extremely slow. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Soak flowers, I feel burnout way too often. So tell me a little bit more about how did you even begin to dig your way out of it and find progress?
Yeah. So it all began when I was exposed to a book called Working Genius. And so I am Gallup certified Clifton Strengths coach. I love all the personality profiles. But this one is about how you get your work done. This is about productivity. And so it really is focused around teams and like helping teams work better together and understanding where you get energy and what takes your energy away. But for me, because of my, my background with burnout, it really clicked in my head. Like, oh my goodness, I wasn't getting burnout because I was doing too much. I wasn't getting burnout because I was overwhelmed with all the tasks I had to complete. I was getting burnout because I was doing the wrong type of work. And so when I connected those dots for myself, I was like, oh my gosh. And I started talking to other women. I'm like, are you feeling this too? Is this happening to you? And I just found that it is almost like universal. It feels like in our 20s, we can tolerate it because we still have a lot of energy and we've got a lot of things going on. But by the time we get to like 40s, we're done with it. We don't have the same tolerance for it, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so I feel like when we get to midlife, I'm sorry.
No, in our 20s, we're still figuring out what we like and who we are. So we do have more tolerance for doing the wrong things because we're still
absolutely playing. And what makes it worse is we get rewarded for it. So a lot of times, especially if you're in corporate America, they expect you to function in a certain way. And so we're rewarded for the wrong kind of effort, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so true.
So I'll just summarize Working Genius really quickly. Basically, everything is broken down into projects. And you can basically say that everything we do in our life can be broken down into a project, right? So there's 6 stages to the work that you do. And you get 2 of those are your working genius. So 2 of those actually give you energy. 2 of them are they call them your competencies. You can do them, you can tolerate it, but it's not where your genius lies and it doesn't give you energy. Okay. And then 2 of them are your frustration. And that literally steals your energy. And what I found for me personally is that I was functioning like the work I was doing was in my frustration. A lot of the job was in my frustration. And that was what was leading to the burnout.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, can I have more than 2 for I feel like everything's just frustrating. But I've experienced that before where I've had certain task types or groups of types of tasks, similar things that I'm good at, but I don't love, that I've been trying to, I've been pushed towards in corporate America way back when. Right. And then I've got some things that are just frustrating and it's like walking uphill through mud. But then there are some things that it's easy, when I do it, I like lose track of time. I feel like I really enjoyed myself. And I'm assuming those are the genius areas that you're talking about that we're trying to locate for ourselves, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So the breakdown, I'll just walk you through it real quick. The breakdown is, they call the acronym is WIDGET. So that makes it really easy to remember. The first one is wonder. And so you are thinking about ideas and how things could be different. You're just wondering. Okay. And then the next one is invention. And so in invention, you are literally coming up with new ideas, new solutions. And then the 3rd stage is discernment. So you're determining if the ideas are good or not, if it will work or not. And the next one is galvanizing. And galvanizing is pulling the people together and getting everybody on board. And then enablement is the next one. And that is like supporting people and enabling the work to get done and making sure that everybody's okay. The last one, the final one, is tenacity. And that is basically making sure that the projects are completed. Okay. So when you think about the corporate environment, a lot of times as women, we are forced into that enablement role, right? So it doesn't even matter what kind of job you have. You're forced to be an enabler and supporting other people and making sure that everybody's okay. And if you're the only woman, you're probably like the mom of the team. And it not necessarily because that is your natural gift. It's just because you're female and we kind of get put into that, especially if you're Gen X. I feel like we're getting better with this stuff. The newer generations, but Gen X, it was not. It was standard for the woman to be asked to go get coffee, right?
Yeah.
And then tenacity is, pushing projects to completion. And of course, that's, the big focus of anything corporate. And that may or may not be where your genius is. And so that can be very, very hard. And I look back, and so I should tell you, my gifts are invention and discernment. And I look back and for example, discernment, you just know if something's a good idea or not, if the path will work or not. And it's more of like, for me, it's like gut instinct. And I don't know how I know. I don't know. Sometimes it just comes to me. Sometimes I just am looking at all the data and connecting dots, and I'm like, that's not going to work because, this is going to happen. And in my corporate career, I was asked, like, prove it. And I can't prove it. I'm like, I don't know how I know. I just know. And so all of this made so much sense to me.
Yeah. And I feel like when we're in that genius zone, for one, productivity, which is what I teach,
right, exactly.
I know that is the zone where everything seems so much easier and it's so easy to get things done. So we do want to live in that zone more.
Right.
But I know from myself and from some people that I've spoken to, it seems often it's that way. It's, I don't know like how I know this or why I'm good at this or what my technique is. This is just who I am. And a lot of times we don't value that work.
Right.
We feel like if it's that easy,
because it's so easy,
then there's not value in it. And it's a good reminder that, okay, it's not that easy for everyone. Like for some people, like tenacity is not my thing at all.
Mine either.
So if somebody's like, if it's really easy for somebody, I would pay $1 million for them to do it because it's not easy for me.
Right.
So learning to value that, I think that this system that you're talking about sounds amazing. Even if you know or have an idea of what your genius is, learning to truly embrace it and live in that area as much as you can and use it for the help of everybody involved, really.
Yeah. And I don't think I realized how bad it was, how bad it was functioning like that until my body started reacting, right? Like, I feel like I stayed in that role way too long because I was, capable and I was responsible and I was settling and I was completely ignoring myself. And I just feel like I was conditioned to override that inner knowing. And so that is a big part of the work that I do now, is making sure like we're returning and we're listening to ourselves.
That is really cool. So can you tell me a little bit more about what each of these 6 categories are? Like, how would we self-identify if we're in those categories? I know that, there's a much more scientific way to identify ourselves if we go through and do the whole program and the test, but just for those of us who are kind of wondering right now to get an idea.
Well, wonder is, I don't want to dig in too deep because I feel like we'll kind of get lost in it, but wonder is just thinking up, like, is there a better way? I'm sorry?
Or who would it be on the team? Like maybe what type of team member would be the wonder person or?
Ooh, I don't know the answer to that. I don't think that it would be a specific person on the team. It's just a type of, just kind of the way your brain works, if that makes sense.
In the meeting who comes up with ideas?
It's the person on your team who asks a lot of questions.
Okay. Yeah. Questioner. I like it. Okay.
Yeah, because they're wondering if things could be different. They're wondering why things are the way they are, right?
I know that person well, and I love that. we call it the questioner when we talk about the 4 tendencies.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so wonder, similar to the questioner, the little.
Yeah, they're just wondering. They're always wondering, and sometimes they can get stuck in wondering and not actually move move forward from that point. So if you have a team that has too much wondering, that can cause problems. If you have a team that has no wondering, that can cause problems.
Right.
Yeah.
So invention, is that our aha person, or?
Invention is people that are coming up. These are the creative people. These are the people who are thinking up new ideas, new solutions. They are generating ideas. For me, it's painful because the ideas don't stop. I generate too many ideas. And then discernment is really, it's like an intuition. It's an instinct that you just know, like you're evaluating the ideas to see if they would work or not.
So that's the person that in the meeting might be like, but I don't think that that's going to work because.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep. So sometimes they don't, people don't want to hear that, right? They're like, I had a great idea.
Definitely necessary.
Yeah. And for me, I have both. So I'm constantly like second guessing my ideas. So it's interesting.
We sound very similar in that one.
And then galvanizing, these are the people that inspire people. They're getting people together. So these are the people, like if they're having a party, everybody shows up. These are the people who get others to take action. So they're very influential, I guess, would be a good question or a good statement.
A lot of times they have that charisma and people just,
yeah,
when they speak about something, they make it sound interesting and you're all in.
They like rally the troops, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Real quick, Jana asks, she says, maybe wonder could be wondering why things are done one way and not the other, trying to make sure I understand.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
That's what I thought. Good question, Jana. I like that one.
Yes. And enablement, these are the people in my head I go to, like nurses, teachers, like all these people who care about supporting people. They are the people who respond to other people's needs, if that makes sense.
The caregiver. I wish I was more of that.
Me too. Not so good at that part.
Right?
And then tenacity, these are the people that are driving the project to completion. These are the people who care about like checking things off their list. They want to achieve a result.
Those are our finishers.
Yes, exactly.
I really wish I was more of a finisher.
Yeah, and so my analogy that I like to use is much like you just said. You said something about going through the mud. I like to use the analogy of riding a bike. If you are using your genius, it's like riding a bike downhill. It's so easy.
Yeah.
So easy. Everything moves faster. Everything's smooth, right? If you are using, or if you are in your competency, it's like riding a bike on flat surface. So it takes effort, and it will drain you like eventually, right? You can't do it for too long, but you can do it. You're capable of doing it. These are, unfortunately, this is where a lot of our work like resides. Like we're spending 90% of our time in that section, and that's the problem. Okay. And then the other two are your frustrations. These are the ones that drain your energy so fast and start really building that burnout.
Yeah. I've been in all three. Like I can picture that so much.
Yeah.
He says, I feel like a mix of wonder, ideas, and discernment. So mostly cerebral. So my external doesn't seem like I do much, but it all makes sense in my head. I definitely not a teacher by nature. As a stay-at-home mom and married to Gen X, I'm forced into galvanizer, enabler, and finisher.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm sure that, I mean, we only have so much time today, but I'm sure that within your program, you talk about how to, if you are like me, pure like invention discernment, how do you manage to still be a finisher and get things done without burning out and spending too much time there? Am I correct in that?
Yes. And I feel like also, we want to, I had my entire family do this assessment. And so I understand who I can call on for what. And so I also, because I know I don't like to finish things, I really evaluate whether or not I want to start it in the first place, because I know I'm going to end up having to call somebody else in.
Knowing that about yourself, I mean, that's so huge, because then you can plan ahead for, is this something I can truly see through?
Yeah.
I love that.
Exactly. So I feel like this whole concept is so beneficial in so many ways, but I really, I also want to make sure that everybody understands, like, this is really about like the inner motivation too, and where things are coming from. It's not just about, how to get work done. It's also about reconnecting with where you've been like stifling yourself, where you've been like ignoring your signals from your body, and so that you can really, come back to that inner knowing, and it just makes it make sense to me.
Right. I know that a lot of times when we are stuck in productivity
Mm-hmm.
and motivation and we're just feeling drained, and we might not even be trying to get anything in particular done, but just drained in general, like stuck on the couch eating Thin Mints, watching Gilmore Girls, and feeling guilty. A
Yeah.
lot of times we are trying to fit ourselves into one of those categories
Yes.
and spending too much time there, which it sucks our energy. So our brain remembers that.
Yeah.
Like, like, lady, I know you. You push me into doing stuff I hate.
Right.
Knowing, even
Yeah.
on like, it doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 CEO or a stay-at-home mom. Like, it's going to suck out all of your energy if you're trying to stay in that wrong zone for too long.
Yeah, absolutely. And this isn't about like, when I work with women, they're like, yeah, but this is my job and I don't want to blow up my life. And I'm like, absolutely. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that you never have to finish anything ever again in your life. That's not what this is about. It's just about awareness so that we can budget our energy level, right? So we can sit there and say, okay, I know I have to do this week, and I know that's going to drain me. So then how can I incorporate more of my genius in so that I get more energy? It's about, maybe tiny pivots, like tweaking your schedule. It's not about just, throw it all out the window. I'm never finishing anything ever again.
Right. Yeah. So it's not about changing what you do. It's more about, like, a lot of times we talk about giving ourselves grace.
Yes.
And so you would know the times that you're going to need more grace. You can kind of plan it ahead of time. I've got to do my taxes.
Yes.
I'm a genius. So I need to schedule a whole lot of downtime or give myself playtime or whatever it is. Put a task that I really love next to it. So that way you don't completely drain your energy and not get where you want to go.
Right. Yes.
Tony says, this makes sense to me. I get energized by things being finished, but tolerate the actual finishing. I'm a great delegator due to my strength and discernment. Oh, I love that. Yeah, knowing that about yourself, even if, like, whether it's a job or family or a friend group, knowing who's what. Like, I love to study psychology and figure out who's got strengths, because when you can call on somebody who's got a strength, not only does that help you, but I mean, how great does it feel for somebody to say, hey, I really need help with some ideas. Like, I know that you're more an invention person. Like, can you be the person who really, like, takes on that part of this? And for me, I'm like, oh, to play.
Yeah.
I think I'm good at this. You recognize that that's valuable. Like,
right.
I love that so much. So knowing that in a family or in a group situation, I imagine just helps the health of the group as well as getting things done or feeling happy.
And I think understanding that, like, getting clear on that, the clarity creates strategy, right? So I think that understanding this and being clear about it really, like, puts you in a position where you can trust yourself. Like, you can trust what you already know, and it puts words to it so that you can explain it to other people. Yeah.
For those of you watching who've been part of the deep dive series, we've been talking about how motivation comes last and all the steps to get to motivation. And this falls really strongly into some of those first steps of understanding and safety. So understanding would be understanding which of these categories are your strengths and which ones aren't. You don't have to change it, but just knowing that ahead of time really helps you plan for your energy. And then safety if you know that you are working in a frustration zone for a while, then you know that you have to give your brain some safety, and you're going to have to up the ways that your brain feels safe within that work. So you can plan ahead. You can create smaller work sprints. So that way your brain knows you're not going to be pushed for hours. You can create, like we talked about, some fun stuff that happens right afterwards, or mix and match. So it works all into that deep dive series, what we're talking about. This is the understanding and the safety portion of it, but she's given such great wording and examples and true, I don't know, like a structure to practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, as women, we're good at a lot of things. And I think that's part of the problem, right? Yep. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And so just understanding where all that comes from and why you feel the way you do, I think is just, I don't know. For me, it made me feel so at ease. Like I could just relax and stop thinking that something was wrong with me. Just because my job looked good on paper doesn't mean that it was good for me. I'm sure it's great for somebody else. It was, a good job. I wasn't bad at my job. I was just in my frustration zone every day. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we mentioned that you have a workshop.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about this workshop that you have?
Yeah, it's called Leading Without Burnout, and it's just a deeper dive to what we've been talking about here today. It's really around getting clarity, really understanding why you're burnout and how you're wired, and so that you can really make adjustments to do work that you are aligned with, if that makes sense.
Is it a series or is it a one-time? No. Okay.
It's a 1 hour workshop that I'm doing on Tuesday, the 17th.
Ooh, nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, if you're interested in the workshop, it is listed in the description for this video.
Thank you.
If anybody has any questions for Tamara, now is your chance. Feel free to ask it in the comments. I would also love to hear from you. Which of the different categories do you feel are your strengths? I know for me, I feel like probably invention and discernment. Those are the ones that when we talk about it, I'm like, my body goes, oh, my whole body's just like, yeah, I just kind of want to live there. So tell me in the comments, which of these, one or two of these, do you feel the most connected to? Like it might be your genius. I would love to hear that as well. I'm going to put the workshop information in the chat area as well. Let me do that real quick for you. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, I don't know if it'll show in the Facebook group, but it will show on the Facebook page and profile. Gotta love Facebook. The link is going to be there for you. And let's see, in the comments, we also had Rosella's here. Hi, Rosella. Good to see you today. Welcome, welcome. All right. So that is Tamara. So if you do want to connect more with Tamara, you have the link for her workshop. Also her website, really easy, tamarawamsley.com. That's also in the description. And wanted to go to the comments. Tony says, in pursuing a career, how would you categorize human resources versus accounting versus entrepreneurship in relation to these categories?
That's a tough question. I wouldn't categorize them as a general statement, because I feel like you're going to need all 6 of these for all 3 of those types of careers. So it just depends on specifically what you would do within human resources or what you would do within accounting. But I can tell you, human resources, you're going to be using a lot of enablement in general. And accounting, you're going to probably be using a lot of tenacity just in general. So I think it's more, we can't really look at a career path and say it's just this one piece. You're going to need all 6 in order to be successful, within the team, not you individually, but as a team, you're going to need all 6 in order to make everything flow well and make sure that things are getting done in the, to the best of your ability. But I think it doesn't matter what the career path is, you still need all six. So really focusing in on where you want to spend your time and what kind of work you want to be doing.
Right. So kind of the company, if you're hiring people or if you're
Yes.
the hiring manager, you'd want to make sure that there's a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, and there's actually a method, there's actually a way to make sure that you're hiring the right person by using this information.
That I can only imagine. Like, I wish every hiring manager had that.
Yeah.
They all need it. But yeah, maybe when you're thinking about your career, though, if you're thinking of human resources and you know that you're really strong with tenacity, then that might be something that you feature about yourself within interviews too, and on your
keywords in your resume. Yes.
Yeah. That's where you would want to fit within that human resources team, or vice versa. I mean, you could be an enabler in human resources.
Yep.
And that's very much probably going to be the person who's talking face to face rather than the person who's like finalizing all the paperwork for.
Right. Yeah.
Really good. I like that question though, because it does help clarify. It's like, it's more of where you fit within that work. It's not going to be just each job has its own categories. So you can fit in every single one of them. How do you want to fit?
Exactly.
I think I came in the middle. Can we get the breakdown with descriptions again? Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to put on the screen. We had wonder. That's our questioner type. Invention, which is our ideas person. Discernment, which is the will it work person. Galvanizing, which is bringing people together and getting them excited and on board. Enablement, which was, I'm like hoping that like you're quizzing me on this, right?
Enablement is like taking care of people, taking care of people,
and then tenacity, bringing it to the finish line. Did I get this right?
Great job.
Okay. This is so fascinating to me. I'm like, I think I got this. So yeah, and Jana, if I know you, I bet that you've got some of the wonder in there. You definitely are really good at questioning things as to why they go and thinking, like there could be a better way. But I think you are. CJ says she thinks that she is discernment and enablement. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, absolutely. Melanie says, I don't think or can't think. It's early for Melanie right now. But what one, if any, I'm a genius at might be that I need more coffee.
I promise you are a genius at something.
And Melanie, I have a feeling enablement is huge for you. Melanie cares for a lot of pets for people. Okay. And she's like that warm-hearted person that everybody just absolutely loves her heart. Yeah. Coral, she says, thanks. I'm a teacher and a caregiver, but I'm wondering what I can change or improve to be more of a finisher and completer. That's a really good question.
Yeah, I don't think this is something where you can change it. It's just about your energy and whether you're getting energy or losing energy when doing that work.
Yeah. So it's more about the ratio of how much of that work you're doing at one time.
Yes.
So you don't suck out all your energy by staying in the wrong zone too long.
Right. Yeah. Think about when like different days and you're having a different experience and you're doing a different kind of work. Like, how do you feel at the end of the day? Do you feel like energized and you're ready to go home and like do more? Or do you feel completely drained and, like you just barely made it through the day?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here. Yeah.
And in the workshop, I'm sure Tamara goes much more into exactly how to work with living only a little bit of time in the energy that we all need to be in all those energies all the time. We just don't need to live in the wrong one too long without giving ourselves some relief. Yeah. Shelly says, I think I am wondering an invention, which is why nothing actually gets done. I want to yes. Oh, I hear you. Sharon says invention and inspiration. I love it. Lori, I think I'm discernment and wonder. I can see that. Yeah. Melody, enabling, galvanizing, and wonder. She says, I'm a nurse, caregiver, and very social. I bring people together and drive my family crazy. Yeah, you're such a smart person to have around, though, because you see the things that some of us don't see. Janice says, I think I'm wonder, discernment, and I forgot the last one because it went away. That was, yeah, tenacity, or it would be being that finisher. And Tony says, question, can these change within yourself depending on the situation? For example, when I was working, I was a finisher and that energized me. At home, I'm never finished, she says, or so it seems.
I don't know the answer to that. But I don't think they can change. I think that we are, we're kind of born this way. I think that we get our two and that's it. But I could be wrong. It hasn't been around long enough to have that documentation yet to have that, verification that what I'm saying is accurate. But I don't think it can change. And I don't think we can force it to change as much as I would like to sometimes.
But that's probably a really good example of how, knowing what we're strong at, the feelings that we get from it will probably be affected by what situation we're in as well.
That's true too. Yes.
Finisher probably feels great at work where there's a clear finish.
Yeah.
You're rewarded for finishing and there's a specific number of things that to finish, but at home it might be hard because there's nobody there saying, great job. And then there's still 200 things and you don't know which one.
Right.
I imagine the situation affects things a lot.
And who's around affects things a lot, right? If you have somebody who is really good at, their tenacity and they are finishers, maybe you're allowing them to finish things even when you would like to finish it.
Right. Ooh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Oh, so fascinating. Let's see. Brenda Jean says, I think I'm the same as Melody. All three: wonder, galvanizing, and enabler. Oh, that's a good mix. Mm-hmm. They're all so good. Like, we need all of them. It's just fascinating to hear everybody's different recipes for.
Yeah. And we have to do all of them at some point. So make sure that you're narrowing it down to two, because one of those is going to be your competency and not necessarily your genius.
Yeah. Remind us real quick, and then we'll wrap up, what competency is versus the genius and how you can tell.
Yes. So genius is going to give you energy. Competency you can do, but eventually it will start draining your energy because it's not your genius. And then your frustration steals all of your energy.
Perfect. So that's our test. Maybe this week, as you're doing things, kind of try to feel, is this giving me energy? Am I just doing it, but it's not boosting or taking away really? Or is this sucking all my energy out? And then that can help define some of those.
Yes.
Well, wonderful. If you do want to dive in more on this, then make sure to check out Tamara's workshop. I shared the link in the comments and it's in the show description. And you can always just check out Tamara on her website. I'm sure that she has so much more to share as well. So any last things that you would like to share or wrap up with, Tamara?
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate this. It was awesome. I was so nervous to come on here, but this is really good. So thank you.
Thank you so much. This was such a great topic, and I really appreciate you sharing your expertise with us. I know that it's going to make just like so many aha moments, such a huge difference in our lives. And I'm going to go head over to your website and check out some more as well. I of course already browsed through it some before we started, but there's so much more that I want to dive into that I can't wait to check out more. Well, thank you all so much for being here, beautiful. It has been wonderful having you here. So many thank yous in the chat area. You're so welcome. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Next week, we don't have a guest. It'll be just plain old me, but we're going to have some really good topics that I hope to share with that. I hope you enjoy that I will be sharing with you, and we'll have some more guests coming up over the next month. So keep your eye on your email. If you've not already subscribed to the email, then make sure to do so and check it all out in the description of the video, and share this with a friend. If you know anybody who could use some of this information and have the aha moments that you had, please share it. I love you, beautiful. I love you so much. I will see you next week. Thank you, Tamara. I'll see you soon as well. And you got this. Bye, beautiful.
Thank you, Suzanna.
Bye.